Hello you guys. Today I will be showing you how I resin. And so I will just be using the brand from Michaels, Envirotex Lite. That's what I'll be using. Okay. And then I just took a cup with the ruler and measured off a half and then an inch. Okay, so I want to separate the two. So I just want to use 1 cup. Okay. And this is the way that works for me, guys. So other people do it differently. I just want you to see the way that I do it, the way that works for me. Okay. And normally I would put on the mask. I'm only going to do this one, and I want you to be able to hear me. I'm not going to be in here that long, but do wear your mask, because this resin is a very it's very strong. So do wear your mask. So you have the resin and you have the hardener. Okay. And so this is just my first time opening this one, because I was using an old one that I had for a long time. Okay. Okay, and so just going to open these. Okay, this is the hardener. I'm gonna do this one first. Okay. And I don't measure, so it's not going to be perfect, but I just want to at least try to get half and half of it, because if you don't, you will end up with an inconsistency, and then your piece will not come out right. The last time I did it and didn't do it this way, I ended up with a sticky mess. So do make sure, and I need some paper towels. Okay, you guys, I'm back. So keep paper towels on hand. They're very helpful. And then I have here the resin. So again, I'm just going to go up to my line. And just take your time, you guys. It'll work out a lot better for you if you take your time. Okay. Okay, so you just want to make sure you mix it. Okay, I would say do it for at least 2 minutes or so. Just continue to mix it until it, begins to look clear. The resin will have bubbles at first, and, depending on the temperature in the room as well, you will have bubbles. The warmer the room, the better. Now, if you have a torch gun or heat gun, you can try to put it over it, to get some of those bubbles out. Just make sure that you mix it well. Do not do what I do. I do not have a torch gun or heat gun. So I'm just taking my little torch and just going on top of it, but don't do that. Get yourself a heat gun. The blow dryer, I've noticed, just seem like lint on top of mine. So I try not to use it that often. But use what works for you. Whatever method works for you, that's what you do. And it's just a lot of bubbles. So I'll just wait till I get it on there and I'll just pop those bubbles. Okay, the thing that has worked for me that I've noticed, put on a thin layer, okay? And you want to spread that layer before you put a lot of the resin on, because I've noticed that when I do the thin layer, I get my edges better when I go back and put more resin on. So make sure that you get your corners and edges when you put on a thin layer, and then you can go back. I really did put too much on there, you guys. Then you can go back and put more resin on there to cover it. But just make sure that you put that thin layer on there. And if you do not want your resin to leave, you know, the little drips, make sure that you tape the back of your towel, or if you're using a canvas, whatever that you're resining, just make sure you tape it. Another thing that I've noticed is if I don't do the thick coat of resin when I first start out, I don't have as many drips. So and I just pick it up and I go along the edges. When you put it to the light, you can see where the resin is. So I just fill it in. As you can always go back to your top. Sorry, you guys, I'm getting out of frame. And fix your top. So make sure that you fix your edges and corners, and then you can work on the top of it. And so just turn it to the side, and then you can see, you know, when light hits it, where all you're missing your resin from. Okay, I think I have all the corners now. So I'm just going to make sure with this thin layer that I spread it. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, with that thin coating is pretty much covered. Okay. Which I am going to put more resin on it. I just wanted to make sure that I get all of my corners, edges before I put more resin on there, okay? So I'll just put a little bit more resin. And the resin will level itself out. Okay, I don't like to have extra resin just laying around. I do have some other pieces that I do need to resin. And just try not to do too much, because that's another thing. When I do too much, that's when I mess up, because you know my resin hardens. And then I just end up messing up the piece. And it wouldn't have happened if I would have just did, you know, a smaller number of items at one time. Don't try to do too many. And just make sure you get your bubbles out of the resin. If not, it will dry like that. So you will end up having bubbles in your resin. And you can always come back and look at it and see what your piece looks like. You know, to see if there are bubbles still in the resin. So always check it. You know, come back and check it. You know, look for little hairs or anything in the bubbles, like I said. Because like with the temperature, if it's not very warm, the bubbles will come back and they'll form back on the piece. So just check your piece. Just seemed like I see some little things there, so that's what I'm doing. No, it just seems like lint comes from everywhere when you're trying to do resin. And don't stay in one spot too long. You don't want to torture resin. So move around with it. Okay, I think that piece is good. I have another piece that I need to do. And cover your pieces with cardboard or whatever you have to cover it with. I'm trying to do this in a hurry, so this particular one, I've already resined. The problem is, and I probably will have a mess. The last time I did not do the measurements, you know, I was trying to just use the rest of the resin. that was in there, and it's now sticky because it wasn't the right consistency. So I want to see if I can go back over it with some resin. But you know what? I'm not going to do this today. I'm limited on time, and that's going to take a little bit. So I'll just do this one. This one doesn't have any resin on it. Okay. So I'll try this one. And so let me just go ahead and go to the corners here and the edges. So normally when you spread it, it won't move. I see it dropping off because I didn't spread it. Sorry, you guys. Trying to do a video and not having much time is not good. But I'm trying to get this video in. Okay, so when you go slower, you will not make as many mistakes. And then you put on that thin coat first. And just go around. I have to remember the camera is down low. So I keep getting out of the frame. I apologize, you guys. Okay, so just do the edges and sides. Okay, I think I've gotten all of the edges and sides. I'm pretty sure that I did. And I'm just going to smooth out this top. See something on there, but I guess it's in the paint. My hands are slippery. The first one that I did looks very good. Okay. And the resin will spread itself. I'm just impatient, rushing, and that's not a good thing. Okay. Let's torch it. Okay. don't think that's bubbles. I think that's a little bit of lint. Okay. Okay, you guys, and that's how I resin my pieces. I will try to do some resin projects in the future. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you click that bell for the notification so that you will receive an alert when I post a new video. Okay, till the next time, you guys.